Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into a new edition of the Batter Up podcast, sponsored by the Dugout of Millwood here on the Sports Insanity Network. We got the heart of the order up for you this morning. Danny Boy Reginald, the old Apps guy, Mike Rifke with you. And gentlemen, in T-minus 3 days, Major League Baseball is back. Albeit the first game being played on Netflix, which say what you want about it.
It smells like a Yankee loss already. I'll tell you that much.
A giant Yankee loss.
Oh,
They'll get
you know,
they'll get a swirly in the Cubbies coat.
Oh,
let me,
Rafael Devers is gonna be like, "Oh, I know these guys. I hit these guys."
I don't like. I hate the fact that all these premium channels are getting important games, and that's not just with this sport. That's all sports.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Well, the thing that I don't like is the fact that you're making the Yankee local broadcast crew fly out to San Francisco for one game.
That too does not make sense.
What kind of crap is that? You know, if you're gonna make them fly to San Francisco, can you give them two games? Can you give them the Saturday afternoon game? Like, you're flying them out for one game and then they're gone. They're going to Seattle next. That's not
At
cool.
least they don't have to come back across the country.
Yeah, I mean that's not cool. I don't know about that. They always have West Coast games late in the season.
Yeah, well,
that's brutal.
Yeah.
Well, you won't get to hear the Yankees on opening day. Met fans won't get to hear Gary Keith and Ron on opening day because that'll be on NBC.
Yeah, okay, but at least
please let them
NBC,
bring Bob Costas in.
yeah. But you know
I
what?
think he does the studio.
Yeah,
I know.
but you know what? And NBC, you can live with that. And
Oh
then
yeah,
you know, and you'll probably still have your local crew throughout the weekend.
I believe so. Yeah.
These Netflix guys, like, what the hell?
But
Like,
by the way, did you see who they put on this in the studio for Netflix for this opening game?
or I
Haven't
know
even looked.
is CC in the studio?
I think Cece's in there.
Um,
Barry Bonds is in there.
yeah, Barry Bonds. I thought Barry Bonds would be like a special guest or whatever. Um,
And Jameis Winston for
yeah,
the opening for opening night will be there.
that's funny. Um,
Why is Jameis Winston there? I mean, I get the other two. At least they both play baseball.
New York team, Giants are the other. Put it together.
that's the silliest thing
I'm
ever.
not. Listen, I'm not disputing that. I don't know what Jameis knows about baseball.
Well,
I mean, he was.
yeah, he was at Florida State. He played. Um,
But we also know he knows how to steal, so maybe it's like stealing second. It's already down in bad
He
form.
also knows how to be a saint.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully his outfield skills are just as good. His pitching skills are just as good. Hasn't played in a trillion years, so you know.
Oh, yeah. So that'll be your opening week discussion. But we're here. We're gonna do predictions. Before we get started, though, shout out Venezuela and congratulations to them on winning the final of the WBC.
A real serious baseball team.
Yep.
Unlike the people that masquerade themselves as an American international team.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some issues there. Team USA. And it goes to show you. You take all the greatest players in the world, doesn't guarantee you anything. But man, that was a shot by Bryce Harper.
that was launched.
I mean, and
I
that's
I've never cheered for a Bryce Harper home run until that moment.
yeah.
But I cheered when he was in the home run derby, and I had him in a pool. So yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It was a bomb, but too little, too late. I mean, it only tied the game.
Tied the
Right.
game.
Can you hit a home run that gives us the lead? Like something like, no. It's a disgrace. And of course, Aaron Judge didn't do anything. Kyle Schwarber didn't do anything. All the big guns didn't do anything. So it's like, you know,
Now, let's be fair. The Americans were even lucky to get there because they don't even advance out of pool play if the Italians don't beat the snot out of Mexico.
yeah.
Shout out to Israel for going 2-3. Very proud of you.
They were in a tough pool, Mark.
Yeah.
Also, we do need to do something here. We need a moment of silence. Uh, we lost a great entertainer this week, a guy who could kick through boards or score points from the most meaningless. I call for a moment of silence for the late, great Chuck Norris.
And we're done.
Yep. Sorry, I had to get that in there.
Mhm.
uh, thank you, Chuck Norris. No, thank you, Peter. Shout out the movie Dodgeball.
In all seriousness, Mark, you're right. I mean, Chuck
Yeah.
Norris, big time
Yep.
mixed martial arts, karate, whatever the fuck you want to call it. A icon in that sport, and obviously the pioneers like him and Bruce Lee really, really made something out of that sport and turned that into a film career, TV career that no one really expected. Um, he was amazing. The reason why, UFC and all that stuff exists today is because of people like
Mhm.
Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. So Chuck Norris deserves all the flowers today. So no, definitely a tough one to swallow.
Our condolences go out to Chuck Norris's family and friends. All right. Let's dive into the baseball, gentlemen. So today's show, guys, as we mentioned, prediction show. We're gonna predict division winners. We'll give you wild cards. We'll go through the awards. I'm gonna put a little spin on MVP just because we know who the two front runners are in each league. And then we got some bonus questions that we'll go through. And then to end the show, our World Series prediction, where Mark has the Chicago White Sox beating the Colorado Rockies in 6 games.
Mike, how did you know I had the White Sox there?
Bill texted me. He goes, Mark told me he had the White Sox.
Bill, I never trusting you with a secret again.
Oh, all right. So let's start. We'll go through the divisions first. If you haven't noticed, we previewed all the divisions the past couple of weeks. Go back, watch those. We go through it all.
Yeah. It's
So
also an audio form.
also on audio, so wherever you get your podcasts. But if you like this content, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell thing for notifications. All right. Let's start in the American League. Dan, I'll start with you. Let's start in your division, the American League East, because when we previewed the East, we made the case 4 of the 5 teams we thought could win it.
Yeah. I'm gonna start with Toronto this year.
Okay.
Only because I think they've gotten better for sure. Um, while not the most powerful home run hitting team, they are still a team that could still put the ball on the ground and make contact, and that's just as important. And could be just as lethal. So I'm gonna say the Blue Jays repeat as AL East champions.
Okay. All right, Mark, who wins the American League East?
Mike said it all. We picked four teams, and all four of us said four of these teams can win it. Um, I'm a little hesitant to say Toronto. I was leaning Toronto up until yesterday, but I don't know how they're going to replace Bo Bichette really and how they're going to do with that. I'm actually looking for the Orioles to make one hell of a turnaround from last year. I think they were injured, hurt, whatnot. They get a lot back this year, gonna have a good year. I hand it off to Baltimore. It's kind of a very long underdog, but not out of the question.
Okay, so we have three people on this set, and we're going with three different answers.
There you go.
I'm going to pick the Red Sox
Okay.
for a couple of reasons. One, to get Ranger Suarez and Sonny Gray to go behind Garrett Crochet in that rotation is really something good, really nice. Offensively, you hope those young players can continue to produce and grow. I think the World Baseball Classic was really good for a Roman Anthony.
Mhm.
But we'll see what else they can do. And there's this other thing. Alex Cora, as much as we may get on him because of the Astro situation, he's turned himself into a really good manager. And he always gets the best out of his team. I like the Red Sox. But before we move on, Dan, I just want to ask you this. I understand why you took the Blue Jays, but where are you right now on the state of your team, the New York Yankees?
They'll be a wild card.
They'll be okay.
But I have a lot of concern. I think the American League has gotten a lot better. And it's certainly a lot better than the last couple years. And we saw how competitive it actually became in 2025. Better than I expected. So, I say wild card. In reality, like I don't know where the Yankees are going to fall. They're running it back, but yet teams got better. That's concerning. Bill and I, by the way, Bombers banter will be tomorrow night. Uh, so we'll preview the Yankees and all that stuff. We'll go into depth more. Um, Spoiler, we're not very happy.
This morning,
These
Jason
guys
Dominguez didn't
give
make this team. Sorry for cutting you off, Mark.
uh,
Uh,
Concerns galore.
yeah. Upset about Dominguez being optioned.
That's another thing. It's just like if the Yankees didn't go about the offseason the way they did, he would be up. And yet that's not the case. It's ridiculous. It's bullshit.
All right. So AL East, we give you three different answers. We move on to the Central, Mark. Who do you like?
you know, it's gonna come down to two teams, but I like Cleveland to win it this year.
Ooh.
As I had it between two teams. I'm not gonna say I'm not lying. Detroit Tigers were the other. I think Cleveland has proven more than enough over the last few years. They've gotten better. They made sure they kept the guy that keeps this team thriving there for the rest of his career, basically. The team is all around better. I'm not going to say they're AL East top winning like that, but I think they have a chance to win 90 plus games this year.
Okay. All right. Dan?
I'd be very shocked if that, I'm about to say Indians, the Guardians, um, get somehow get over the top over this Detroit rotation. I mean, this is something else that we haven't seen from the Tigers in a long time. Strong at the top of their starting rotation, and then their lineup actually got better too. I'm picking Detroit to win that Central Division. Um, of course, Cleveland's going to be in it no matter what. They always
They
find
always find
themselves
a way, yeah.
in it. Like nobody expected a division win last season, but yet we were there to experience that.
And something that else is consistent. We know Jose Ramirez is just gonna rake all year,
He's going to be a lifelong Cleveland Guardian.
Yeah.
which is something that's not done anymore, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's something that I think everyone should appreciate, even outside of Cleveland. Like, appreciate the guys who play their entire career in one spot. I, I'm with you, Dan. I'm going to take Detroit too. I think because if things go south, the only thing we're going to hear is what are you going to get for Scooble at the trade deadline? And I just don't think they're going to do anything offensively. Those young guys have come through. I'm very excited to see if Spencer Torkelson could have another nice year. Riley Green has turned himself into a really nice player. But you're right, that rotation, Scooble, they added Framber. Then you get into Casey Mize, and at the back end, oh yeah, they re-signed this guy named Justin Verlander. And I know he's not the Justin Verlander of 20 years ago when he first played for the Tigers, but he could still be damn effective.
Yep.
So I'm with you. Cleveland, I think, will give him a fight. I think the Royals are the sneaky team in this division.
They're gonna be better than they were last season.
Yeah, I just don't know if
I don't know if it's gonna be enough.
they have the offense. I just don't know if they've got the pitching outside of Cole Reagans.
Uh,
Like, because you're banking a lot on Seth Lugo and potentially Michael Waka.
oh God.
Yeah, you just said it. So I'm with Dan. I like Detroit. And then there's the American League West. And, Mark, you said before you were torn on two teams in the Central. In the West, I'm torn on two teams too. But one just I think is just better. I like the Mariners to repeat. I The rotation is so good. With Castillo, Gilbert, Kirby. Cal Raleigh's not going to hit 60 homers again, but he'll have another good year. Julio will do his thing. They brought back Naylor. I like the Mariners to repeat.
I don't know. I don't know on Dan, but I'm exactly with Mike on this. I like Seattle to repeat. On Mike's one note, though, I think he will. I'm not gonna say he will. I think he has a chance to come close to hitting 60 again. Because if he's gonna do it, he only has about 2 more years to be able to do it, and I think he has enough oomph to do it again. But I like Seattle here.
The Mariners projected WAR is higher than all those teams combined, and it has a lot to do with the pitching. It has a lot to do with the hitting. The fact that you're getting Rosarena
Mm.
in that lineup back. J-Rod obviously is going to be lethal. We expect Cal Raleigh. He's a home run hitter. He's always been a home run hitter. Of
What's
course,
the best name ever?
home run hitting catchers. rarely exists, and yet his power is just as crazy as Schwarber's. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
like again, they're another team that no matter what will have some type of contact hitter in the lineup that will just put the ball in play and make people sweat. So no, this Mariners team, and then of course the improved rotation. Mariners team looks really good. I see them as a repeat AOS champs.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing on the Seattle Mariners team is I have not seen any other news on it, but the Cal Raleigh Randy Rosarena issue. Do- I've heard that Cal Raleigh said leave it alone. It was just a misunderstanding, but reportedly there's a lot more going on here.
I think that gets nipped in the bud.
I hope so because you got two very prime players on that team, and the last thing you want to have is an early locker room rift.
I mean, let's see what happens. I mean, it's uh
Here's the thing: Randy Rosary's not going to go up to the plate with Cal Raleigh catching again, so
no,
That's
it
a good
doesn't
point.
matter.
That's a good point.
they're teammates. If they have issues, they'll get into the clubhouse. They'll do whatever necessary, and then
They'll
bump
get
it up.
adult
And
beverages, and
yeah, like let's call it. This to me, I think again is all media trying to make everything look worse than it already is. It's not cool. It's not cool what the media is doing. You know, it's
That's
like
what the media is for, though, right?
yeah, the Mariners should be focused on trying to win this season. You know.
they want to do what their neighbors, the Seahawks, did.
Mhm.
So, all right, Dan, you gave us one wild card as the New York Yankees. Who are your other two?
Other two. I do have the Guardians going in as a wild card. The other wild card's tricky because I could go with the Central team, or I can go the easy route, go to the West. I really, really like the growth of this Kansas City Royals team. Just like Mike, for the same reasons. They're young, they're keeping a lot of their players together. Um, and just in general, like, it's not going to be quite there yet. Hitting's not going to be quite there yet. Their pitching is going to be pretty stud. So, like, they're on the come up. Just to be safer, I'm going to go with the Astros to take the other wild card. I think they'll bounce back this season. Another team, obviously, look out for Texas Rangers, um, because they've improved mightily. So look out for them. Um, if all goes well in Houston, they should be a wild card, no problem. I think their biggest competition is Texas and obviously Seattle.
All right, Mark.
And at least one wild card out of the East, and that's going to be the Yankees. No question there. And the other one's going to be the Tigers. Those are my two wild cards without
You got
question.
one more.
Oh, that's right. I do, don't I? I I like what Dan had to say about the Kansas City Royals. I think they're getting better. I don't think they're at a
Yeah.
wild card yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them sooner. But I also do agree with them. The Texas Rangers have a very good chance of being up there, and I agree takes the third spot.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna give one to the Yankees, just because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they make the playoffs every year. They just don't do anything after that.
Mhm.
I'm gonna give one to Toronto because they did nothing to not earn a wild card spot. And the third one, I'm torn on two, but I'm actually gonna go way outside of the box. I like what Dan said about the Astros, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Astros make it. The third wild card team out of the American League, because I'm a bold, stupid person. The Sacramento Athletics. Let's go. They ended the year phenomenally.
They actually
I'll give you
did.
that. I'll give you. Yes.
They
They
actually
they got this young core of great players. Let's go, Marcotte. Forget Vegas.
I mean, you look at this athletic young team, and there are reasons really to be excited. Uh, just I'm going to name two names out of just a plethora of players, but I'm just put them out there. You got Nick Kurtz, who is probably top three youngest prospect out on the field right now. Guy's got power like McGuire without the steroids, and he plays a very good defensive first base. And then you got Jacob Wilson, who's also been signed to a long-term deal. I like this building on the right side of this infield. A little bit more. They got good outfielders. I think the pitching needs a lot of work, though.
Denzel Clark had the catch of the year last year in
Oh,
Anaheim.
that hands up, hands down.
Oh,
uh,
Lawrence Butler, Brett Rooker, Shea Langoliers. You know, we brought up the pitching. Look, they're going to be heavily relying on our good friend, all of our good friend, Luis Severino.
yeah.
I was about to say New York favorite.
You know, if Luis Severino gives an effort like he did in the World Baseball Classic, like or that one lone season with the Mets where he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like I
He
really
actually
think,
turned his season around. Sorry, Dan. He had turned his season around last year
yeah,
towards the end.
yeah. Like I think I mean, he's obviously the ace of the staff. So, we'll go with that. You know, it's funny. Rifkin has the Red Sox in the playoffs. I'm not quite there with them yet. They're a young team with obviously a great pitching staff. But I think the fact that they're so young, I think they're a little too inexperienced right now to make the playoffs. It's no disrespect, but I don't know. I just think that teams have, especially with the veteran players on some of these teams that could hit, that could pitch. I think they'll find ways to win games.
Right, like you're right. I'm bullish on the Red Sox. Like you put the Astros in, and I love the Astros. Jose Altuve is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Jordan Alvarez is a stud when he's healthy. Hunter Brown's an ace. But I can't get out of my head last year for the Astros the fact that they had multiple opportunities to either A, just close out that division, or B, find their way in, and they just choked away the end of the year. So I'm back to where the Astros are going to have to earn it a little bit this year. And the other team, look, I think the Orioles are going to be improved. I just don't know if they have enough pitching. That's my biggest thing with the Orioles. They're going to score a ton of runs. That lineup.
That whole core is healthy. I mean, the entire Baltimore lineup is there's not a day-to-day person on the list. And if that lineup is that healthy, there is no question in my mind they could be one of the top scorers in the league.
Yeah. So just to reiterate, everyone had a different answer for the AL East. Dan went Blue Jays, Mark went Orioles, I went Red Sox. The Central, we had a Guardians and 2 Tigers. The West, we
Oh
swept around
my.
the Mariners. And then wild cards, we all took the Yankees. 2/3 of us took the Guardians. And then, Mark, did you say Houston or did you say Texas? I don't remember.
I said Texas.
So we had a Rangers and Astros. And because I'm a weird, dumb, bold person, I took the A's. So let's see what happens there. That's the American League. National League side. Mark, we'll start in the NL East, our
Yeah.
division of greatness. Shout out the Nationals.
Yeah. We'll shout out the Patchies team. We'll give them that's about it. There you go, Patch. All done with the Nationals. All right. So if everybody does much know about Mike and myself, we are probably the 2 biggest Mets fans that we both know personally. I am taking the Mets to win the division for 2 reasons, and neither one of them is biased. One, they improved their pitching completely. They have tilted this pitching rotation to be really something with Freddie Peralta at the top. We've seen Kodai Senga do very well during spring training. That is no reason to yawn, Dan. Just because I'm talking about the Mets, you don't want to hear about it. No yawning. I didn't yawn during your little Yankee rant. Um, the question for the Mets is the rotation in order. I think it'll be Peralta followed by Senga, and then Clay Holmes, and then it can get a little interesting. In the Mets lineup, it's all new. It's a whole new rhetoric, except for Lindor, who I only found out today, thanks to Mike, is actually playing in the spring training game today. So that is great. Hope to see him ready for Thursday's home opener. My only big concern is Bo Bichette and not his bat. His bat doesn't worry me. He had a rocky time at third base in spring training. Most of it in the beginning, and yeah, look, that's when you want to make your mistakes. But otherwise, it's gonna be very close between the Mets and the Braves. The Mets are gonna eke it. Mets are gonna eke it out by 2 games. Sorry for making that as long as it was.
You're going Mets over Braves. Okay.
And that's why I'm saying a couple of games. I'm not saying a 10-game. It's
No, no,
gonna be
no.
very close.
But I'm a little surprised you're not going to say the team I'm about to say. I'm taking the Phillies. Look, until they're beaten and dead, they're in the same position as the Yankees. They're just running this thing back.
No. The Yankees are running it back because they have someone back. The Yankees get Garrett Cole back. Phillies do not get Zach Wheeler back.
Well, they may get Zach Wheeler back at the All-Star break. We don't know.
Never. No way.
But
it's a tough recovery, to be honest. Like,
I'm not saying it's not. I don't know. I'm only telling you what I've read and what I've heard.
Well, right, but this is a debating show, and that's what this is about.
But we're not really debating anything. But anyway, look, I think for the Phillies, I think one, they have to be motivated. This has to be because if you don't win this year, I'm going to go a little scorched earth here on the Phillies. There has to be changes made if you don't win. Like Dan said about the Yankees, they don't win. They expected changes. They really didn't do anything except they brought back Cody Bellinger. The Phillies brought back everybody. Schwarber comes back. JT Realmuto comes back. Mike Schmidt's best friend comes back. You know, it's the Philadelphia Phillies I think they're the best team in this division, and April through September don't really matter to them. Come October, it's going to have to matter. And I think they're going to win. I'm not going to say they're going to win this division with ease. I think the Mets and the Braves are going to be very competitive here. But I'm going to take Philly to win the division.
Not to cut out Mike's legs, but I don't. I agree. The Phillies have the lineup to keep them in pace with the Mets and the Braves. You lose Zach Wheeler. That happened last year. I like what they did for Christopher Sanchez, and I said this to Mike before the broadcast.
Yep.
I like what the Phillies
New
did with him,
extension.
and a new extension, and nothing over the top, nothing 50 million. It's averaging about 17 million a year, and you're asking this guy who was a number 2/3 now to rotate to be your main guy. That's a big ask on a young kid. And as good as he was last year, I think it's going to hurt him this year. And I think the Phillies pitching is too rocky for me to have them as to beat the Mets. I think I agree with you though, Mike, is that these three will be there come the end.
Listen, maybe it's because I'm bullish on Sanchez and Luzardo, and I'm
Nothing wrong with Jesus Luzardo. I will say that.
and maybe I'm just. I think it's more so I have to see the other two teams do it before I actually believe it.
Fair enough.
All right, Dan, who do you have winning the NL East?
I'm taking the Mets. I'm sorry. Like, I don't trust the Braves because they always get hurt. Like,
It's true.
and like I know it's such a shitty thing to have to think about because the Braves are such a talented team, but can you really count on these players who are injury prone? All of them.
Yeah.
Can you count on them to stay for a full season and in the dog days of summer, like get the job done? It's gonna be really tough for them. And then for Philly, my big thing with Philly is not necessarily the running it back part. That's actually the better part, to be honest with you. It's actually part of the better part that they have. Um, I just think that they're gonna be a playoff team, but if you're not going to inspire your clubhouse to bring a fresh new face and change up the lineup a little bit, even though they kind of didn't. You know, like how can you expect that team to then go out there and win just with veteran presence only? Like it's tough sell.
Hmm.
That's they at least look they made their share of mistakes in 2025. David Stearns did, Steve Cohen did, players did. At least this Mets team going into this season, at least I know that they're going to be much better hitting wise. They're going to be much better pitching wise. I think Juan Soto is going to be a little more inspired by this clubhouse than it was the previous clubhouse. Same thing with Francisco Lindor. And they have a chip on their shoulder. They missed the playoffs last year when they were expected to go to the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this Met team they're fired up. They're ready to go. I still have concerns about that bullpen, but I think the starting pitching and the hitting, I think they'll help them out a little bit.
Okay. Move on to the Central, where the Brewers have won the division the last 3 years. Dan shaking his head no. So, Dan, do you not think it's 4 in a row for the Brewers?
Oh, it's gonna be Cubbies, baby. Bring on them damn Cubbies. Let's go.
The Cubbies.
I'm ready for the Cubs to finally show that they're the on paper the better team than the Milwaukee Brewers. Like can we finally get that? Like I'm sick and tired of this Brewers team built by statistics and everything finding ways to
But it worked. It did work.
It does work.
It does.
Sorry.
Um, I expect the Brewers to be in it. Obviously their dynamics are crazy. They got people that can get on base, they have players that can steal, they got pitching, and Christian Yelich. Um, no, this Cubs team, they built themselves in the offseason to compete against a Brewers team that could beat you in so many different ways. And now I think the Cubs can do the same thing. Um, Again, on paper, I think they have the better baseball club.
Mark?
I'm right with you, Dan. Look, I know the Brewers, what they are now. Chicago Cubs are the team to beat in the NL Central and could be by a long shot. Um, there is no secret to this Cubs rotation. The only questionable mark will be Edward Cabrera, but I think he's going to get a better chance to prove himself up here. The addition of Alex Bregman, who I was so jealous of because I wanted him to be a Met, but even I knew that was a very thin idea. I think that is a very big upgrade for an infield they needed. You got PCA, one of the most exciting guys in baseball. And I think the one thing they have to worry about right now, and to see how long it's going to be, is Seiya Suzuki is not going to be ready for opening day. And that's a little bit of an issue because of their outfield depth. But guess who will be in there, Mike?
Sammy
Former right
Sosa.
fielder Michael Conforto will be starting in that position.
They should have just brought back Sammy Sosa. No,
So yeah, give me the Cubbies.
look, I'm with you guys. I'm going to go Cubbies too. I love what that rotation is going to look like at full strength. They'll get Justin Steele back off Tommy John. They bring back Shota Imanaga on the qualifying offer. Yeah, that's Jameson Tyon, and Mark, you brought up Cabrera. And then look, PCA was awful after the All-Star break last year. Gets a year under his belt. We'll see what he looks like. But they got some great. You want someone who puts the ball in play? Nico Horner puts the ball in play. Alex Bregman puts the ball in play. Dansby Swanson puts the ball in play. So I like the Cubs too. And here's the thing about Milwaukee, because they're going to be around because they're always around. I just don't know what that rotation looks like. We don't know when Brandon Woodruff's going to pitch. They don't have Freddie Peralta. How are they going to piece it together? We'll see. But for now, I like the Cubbies too. Then there's this National League West team that's really good that I'm pretty sure we're all going to pick too. And we're probably going to pick them to win the World Series because they are the Monstars.
The Colorado
To,
Rockies.
yeah, you know what? Go Rockies. Chris Bryant, World Series MVP.
Yeah, he'll hit 90 home runs
This season.
and surpass
In
Barry
MLB the Show.
Bonds.
Look, Tim A has a better chance of hitting home runs than Chris Bryant this year. But to clear pretty much what it is, yeah. The Los Angeles Dodgers, it's a no-brainer if you're not picking them to win the AL West, NL West, Jesus Christ. And the question isn't more is what what's going to be when they win. The question is going to be is who's going to be the wild card team to come in from this group between, well, let's call all of them, the Diamondbacks, the Padres, the Giants, and the Rockies. I think we can safely say we're not going to be talking about the Rockies come wild card time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it comes down to the Diamondbacks and Padres to fight it out for that spot. For one of them at least.
Man, I love this San Diego squad. They're not going to win the division. It's the Dodgers.
Yep.
I'm not that stupid. But I love the Padres. And everyone should expect them to be in the mix somehow, some way for the division. They're not going to win it. Dodgers are too crazy of a lineup, too crazy of a pitching staff. And then Edwin Diaz. But I like the way this Padres team is constructed. You know how much I feel about Tatis. You know how much I feel about Machado. Those two have always been great. And, and look, say what you want about the rotation. Don't sleep on that. Like
No.
they are a tremendous pitching staff. Um, I know King is back for another year. He's gonna be back for a while, and like, yeah, I'm still waiting on what Musgrove. What was he? What's status with him? Do you know?
I will double check for you right now.
Yeah, because when we see him back, he's gonna be amazing too. So at least we hope. Um, and of course, you want to put a thorn up the Dodgers' ass. How about Walker Bueller making that roster? Like, see what he can do.
Fan of Walker Bueller.
Yeah.
Very big fan.
They do not have when he's expected back, Musgrove.
Okay. I mean,
Their hope is around, I think, around May.
okay.
Can't guarantee that.
Because when he's healthy and ready to go, like he has ace-like stuff too. So, um,
And the other thing about the Padres is that bullpen, even with the loss of Robert Suarez, is still an electric factory. Jeremiah Estrada throws gas.
yeah, man.
Adrian Morejon throws gas. Oh, by the way, they have that guy, Mason Miller, who's just as
Here's a
dominant.
guy.
Yeah, he's just as dominant as Edwin Diaz. I Dan, I'm with you. I like the Padres. I like the Diamondbacks too. The Diamondbacks are, I think, last year they were another one that just got beat up by injuries.
Corbin
Marte's a great,
Carroll.
Carroll's a great player. Marte's a great player. Perdomo had a really good year last year. Can they get enough out of their starting pitching until Corbin Burns comes back? We'll see. They were able to bring back Zach Gallen, which is huge. Merrill Kelly comes back. I'm not going to say anything bad about the Giants until the Giants actually show me something. I'm tired of the Giants. I like the baseball version of the Arizona Cardinals. You want them to be good in the worst way, and they just never show it to you.
No matter and look, they've had some mediocre signings over the years.
Yeah.
It's not like they bring in and acquire players that could really change and amp up the roster to compete in this National League. No, it's a bunch of players that they're not scrubs. Devers is not a scrub. He's annoying in the clubhouse, but he's not a scrub. But it's not enough to go out there and win.
Yeah, so we'll see what they can do. But yeah, we're all riding the Dodger bandwagon. Mark, who are you going to take as your three National League wild cards?
In all seriousness, you got the Phillies taking one, and I think they edge out the Braves. I have San Diego taking the second, and I have Arizona taking the third.
Dan.
Similar with Mark, only I'm going with the Milwaukee Brewers. Um, as the third wild card.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take the Mets, the Padres, and I'm going to take the Braves over the D backs. just because one, to be different, two,
Yeah.
the injury thing can't happen again, can it?
Yeah. Look, if the I will say this about Atlanta. If the Braves stay healthy, relatively healthy, they should be in the mix for a wild card. I right now I just can't trust it. But of course, look, mid-season that could change. I mean, you just never know.
All right, so those are the playoff teams in the National League. We will end the show, guys. World Series predictions.
Okay.
We do have some other things to get into, like award season. So here's how I'm going to phrase MVP. Who do you have winning MVP not named Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani? That's how it's framed. Because you can take Judge and Ohtani. We know they're the favorites. But that's the easy way out, and I'm not letting that happen. So
I guess that's a fair reason to not take the easy way out.
all right, Mark, who would you have win MVP outside of Judge and Ohtani?
I have Francisco Lindor for the NL and for the AL. I know this is like so far out of reach and almost an impossibility. But for the AL, you ready, Dan? And I know you're gonna think I'm nuts. Cody Bellinger.
Ooh, I think you're a little nuts, but okay.
If he hits 40 and steals 50, fine. In the National League, I'm going with Kyle Schwarber, and in the American League, I'm going Bobby Wood Jr.
oh, okay. It's a good one. American League, if it's not Judge, I'm gonna go Julio Rodriguez. I think Julio's due for a big year. National League, I could say this because it may also curse him. If it's not Ohtani, it's gonna be Ronald Acuna Jr. having a big bounce back year if he's healthy. All right, Cy Young.
Oh, okay. I might as well go first. For the Why not?
Go for it.
For the National League, very tough, but I'm going with Shota Imanaga from Chicago. And yeah, that means I'm not taking a guy named Paul Skeens. And without question, there'd be no change in my mind. Terry Skubal will win it for Detroit as long as he stays healthy.
He's got three Pete.
Yep. First to ever do it.
Okay. Dan.
Is the only bright spot I'm gonna give the Phillies. Christopher Sanchez.
Ooh.
He had a very strong finish in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking the absence of Zach Wheeler. He was a guy that you can trust on the mound.
What about the American League?
And in the American League, I'm going Tarek Skubal. Again.
Should have saw that one coming, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm going to go Scooble in the American League. National League, no one had a better playoff than Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So that's where I'm going to go for the National League Cy Young. All right, managers of the year. Mark's face.
That's actually a tough one. I'm going to let Dan go first on this one. I got to think about this one a little bit more.
I'm gonna go Craig Counsell for the Chicago Cubs and Alex Cora of the Boston Red Sox. Because even though Boston won't make the playoffs, They're still gonna be fighters, bro. Like that team is always ready to play.
They really are.
Eh,
They're,
I'm gonna give me Mendoza. He's gonna take it for the Mets without question. Sorry, I'm doing it because he's got the team that's gonna listen. And Terry Francona of Cleveland. I just had to sit and think about it.
Cincinnati, but
That's what I meant.
it's all good. He was in Cleveland for a long time. You know,
uh, I'm gonna go Mark Cott save the A's in the American League. I'm way too bullish on the A's. And the National League, I'm gonna go Torey Lovello in Arizona.
it, it, Mark Conte is pretty interesting. He did a tremendous job with the A's last year.
They are growing.
Like, yeah.
All right. Those are just some awards that will go through. Rookie of the Year, where I just don't know all the rookies to go through it.
There's plenty, but until you're halfway through the season,
Yeah,
you
you
can't
know.
really even start ascertaining who's going to make that level.
But we do have some other questions based on the season to come. All right, Mark, two-parter
Yes.
here. Who throws the first no-hitter of the season, and how
Okay.
many no-hitters will there be?
Okay. First no hitter of the season is going to Garrett Crochet. How many on the season? Are we including combined no hitters or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
no-hitters.
I'll say 9.
All right. Dan,
I'm gonna say Paul Skeens.
opening day against the Mets.
Alta Skeens.
He'll throw the first, and then I think there'll be 3
Okay.
hitters.
Skeens is a good one. Crochet's a good one. Um, I'm gonna go Sandy Alcantara throws the first one.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm with Dan. I think there'll be 3 on the season. All right. Number 2. Last year we had 4 players hit more than 50 homers last year. I'm setting the over under at 4 for this year. So Dan, over under 4 players hit 50 plus homers this season.
Over.
Mark?
Way over.
All right. Take the over too. Okay. Now we did that in the MVP thing. Which off-season edition will be the biggest bust? Big name, small name here, but they're gonna bust
Can
this
it
year.
count as a team that they re-signed?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that makes it easy for me. That's Trent Grisham.
Yeah.
Because $22 million for this guy. Look, I understand. No, actually, I don't understand what Cashman's trying to do.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I don't understand what he's trying to do. I'm not going to try to make excuses. It's going to be the biggest bust whatsoever.
Yeah. Grisham, it didn't make any sense at all. Like it was the dumbest move. They were trying to get him to go after the market, not thinking, oh well, $22 million. That he's gonna take like 30. Like it's just so stupid, the Yankees. That's a hard question, Mike. Um
That's what I do. They're the fire, hard hitting questions, like the Clark Kent of this network.
that's a very hard question. I'm gonna stick in New York. I'm gonna say Paul Goldschmidt.
Ooh,
Okay.
Goldie had a horrible end to 2025. I don't know what the Yankees saw in him. I understood beginning of the season he was tremendous, but he fell off second half. I think that's gonna be really tough to watch this season.
I'm gonna go Marcelo Zuna in Pittsburgh. Yeah, he's gonna run into some homers, but I just don't think that's the kind of player they need. And I just don't think it'll be a marriage that works out. So I'm gonna go there. All right. More pressure to win because we talked about it. They both really ran it back. Yankees, Phillies.
Yankees.
Beat Phillies just to be contrarian.
I'm with you, Dan. I think it's Phillies for this reason. You've got to win with Bryce Harper at some point.
Yeah, I mean, something's got to give, right?
Yeah.
The Yankees, they've only been a serious team at this level for like the past, what, 3, 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Phillies, the same thing, but Philly, they've been to the World Series. Obviously lost the National League Championship to the Diamondbacks a year later. They've been there and they've gotten there. Now the Yankees have been there too, but the Yankees also had an easy ride. Phillies had to get through a very tough Atlanta Braves team. Remember that.
Yep.
So, at least the Phillies, their magical ride to the World Series came with overcoming um big time dogs. So we know this team is tough. Something's got to give at some point. You got to give Bryce Harper a ring. He needs to give himself a ring. Like that's another thing. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
He didn't have one.
and I'm putting a lot of pressure on him because remember he left the Nationals to win in Philly, and obviously because the money. But but he wants to win in Philly, so he needs to do it now.
And let's never forget, he said, Philly press conference. I want to bring a title back to DC, and the Nationals won the World Series.
Ouch.
You know, and listen, the Yankees have to win too. And trust us, Steinbrenner and Cashman will hear it if the Yankees don't win again this year. But I'm going Philly. All right. Mark, which new manager will win the most games this year?
That's
If
going to be Mr. Blake Butera of the Washington Nationals. He's got one hell of a rookie team to work with Dylan Cruz and James Wood. I've personally worked for the man. He is a great guy. And if anybody can tell you, I saved his clubhouse office from being flooded with sewage as I was the head of the operations for Dutchess County Stadium, and our septic system went, and I saved his locker. And because of that move, he continued to want to coach. And now he's in the big leagues, all because I saved his clothes. No, let's be serious. That Washington Nationals team isn't something to shy away from. It is filled with stars, young and old. The pitching staff is the real question on this team. It has to be built back up. But I think they're in a shot to win 65 games, maybe 70, 80. No, 65 to 70. I could see Nationals winning this year.
I'm gonna go with Walt Weiss in Atlanta. I again, I just don't think the injuries could happen another year in a row to the Braves. Although I'm saying that as a Met fan, and we know how much injuries plague the Mets every year. But I like the Brave nucleus still. So Walt Weiss is going to win. I think they're going to win close to 90 something games.
I'm with you on with this one, Mike. Walt Weiss, because the talent on the Braves, it's just too much to ignore. He's gonna get a lot of wins. If we're not talking about a team that's expected to have a winning record, I'm gonna say Kurt Suzuki with Anaheim.
Ex-Oakland catcher.
Yeah.
He caught everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
journeyman. He's a good catcher, and he's a smart guy. Like, I think he's a smart guy. And again, for I mean, not first time in a while, but it's good to finally see a catcher back in the mix as a manager in the league. So,
I'm also excited to see what Tony Vitello brings to the Giants, coming from that college ranks of Tennessee. So,
I mean, it's such a different game, but
yeah, they use a different kind of bat.
Mhm.
All right. Let's just end it here. Mark, who are the Dodgers beating in the World Series?
Let's be honest. It's by all means that's who we're honestly gonna pick. It's the Dodgers. Who are they beating? And I'm sad to say it, they're beating Cleveland.
that
Wow.
you imagine Cleveland getting to
Dude, all of America is rooting for the
I
Guardians.
mean, Jesus Christ. That would be a tremendous managerial job by Stephen Vogt.
Yeah, it would be.
Uh,
I'm gonna
Dan,
say, obviously the Dodgers. Until I see otherwise, they'll beat the Detroit Tigers.
yeah, I'm gonna go Dodgers. Obviously, I'm gonna go rematch it up. Dodgers Blue Jays round 2.
I think the Blue Jays may get the better of that.
Blue Jays did massively increase their pitching.
Listen, we owe it to Canada just based on stealing hockey from them at the Olympics and then beating them in the WBC. We kind of owe that one to them. So, everyone, get excited for opening day. We'll be back
yes.
Sunday. Talk about opening day, previewing week ahead, give some thoughts on some other things. Again, like, comment, subscribe here on the YouTube channel. Go to the website, thesportsinsanitynetwork.com for great blogs, vlogs, planes, trains, and automobiles. Follow the socials, Facebook, the Sports Insanity Network, Twitter, Insanity Real. Mark, you got anything you want on the dugout?
The dugout is wrapping up business for pretty much the spring and summer, as I will be having surgery on May 1st. So I will be quieting down for pretty much in the summer. Anthony Laparo and Top Notch Sports Club will be doing all the co-signing for us on stuff that's going out. So if you want to see some great pieces up for sale, go check out the Top Notch Sports Club eBay listing page and take a look at all the postings, not just mine. There are a lot of great things up there.
Yeah. All right. So for Dan, Mark, Dan said Bombers banter tomorrow night. I believe SIP tomorrow morning.
Yes.
So
Wow, you get a double fill of Dan and Bill.
yeah.
what can you say? Season starts on Wednesday, so gotta
Yep.
get done.
All right, everyone, enjoy, and we'll talk.